Hello, and welcome to the Dairies. My name is Jerry. As you now have seen my other two documentaries, which is called The Histories of Jerry. Well, should I say Dare to See the Truth, The Histories of Jerry, and also The Man, the Story, and the Legend. Now this is my conclusion to my life story. In the past, I felt like people have done me wrong, they're doing me wrong again. I feel like I'm being punished for things that's out of my control. Now, I don't know why some people in this world get what they want. Sometimes I can't even get what I want. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I just feel pissed off a lot. Because I feel like my family pissed me off, punished me. You know, I feel like Jesus is punishing me. I feel like everybody want to punish me for who I am, or I guess for what I'm doing. And you know what? I'm getting tired of it. I'm going to calm down a little bit. Oh, life is hell. Trust me. It's a lot of hell to deal with. You never get what you want. You get what you need at the time you need it, but you never get what you want. Because if I would get what I want, I'd have everything that I want. But, I'm alright. I have to be. As you will look through this documentary, you will kind of understand a little bit more about who I am and what I've done in my life. Life is not easy. It's hard and it's hell. You have to pay for it. I feel as though I'm doing the best I can. I feel as though if I can do anything to change my situation, I probably would. I probably would have done things differently. But I'm not exactly sure what I could do differently. I don't know. Being broke is hell. When you're broke, you don't have any money, it's hell. Because you can't do what you want to do the way you want to do it. Especially, let me tell you something. If you're paying on some stuff and other people are using it and they don't seem to return it, although they promised they would and they never do it, you have to go behind them and get the shit. It shouldn't be like that. Hell no, it shouldn't be like that. But to me, in my situation, it is. I don't have a lot of money to do everything I want. I'm not a multi-millionaire, Lord knows I wish I was. I wish I had this $1 billion deal. You know, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was supposed to have a wife and 2 sons. And I was supposed to be getting there in my 30s. It never happened. Where's the dream? Why didn't it come true? What the hell is going on? I ask myself those questions. I feel like I don't have an answer. Or maybe it's my fault. Maybe I deserve the hell or all the shit I get in my life. I feel that I do. But I shouldn't have to. I'm not working at this job as a hobby. I don't work these 9-to-5 jobs to say, hell, I got a lot of money. I just feel like working a 9-to-5 job as a hobby. What the hell? It doesn't matter. Who cares? I got to deal with the shit. And I'm tired. I have a question in my for a lot of my viewers. My question is why do you feel people want to know your business? Because people want to know mine. They're always interested in knowing my business. And you know what I tell them? Forget your ass. You don't need to know. I feel majority of the time everybody in the world needs to know something about you. I guess a lot of times you feel that in life, especially I know I feel in life, that I should have certain things. Because I'm a type of person, I feel I help people. At some times, I stay late at different jobs that I do. I feel I have a heart. I know sometimes some people think, oh, well, I don't know. Nobody cares, or he don't give a shit, or to hell with him, or screw. I know some people think I got it going on. I'm all that in a bag of chips. I know people think, boy, I got all the money in the world, and boy, wouldn't they want to be like me. I know people who want to be like that. I know they want to be like me. People just see me, and I got this facade, and people think I got it going on, but I don't. I guess it's just the way I act, the way I talk, the way I walk. I guess it make people think I'm all that. I mean, for me personally, I am all that in a bag of chips. But, I don't understand. People believe different things. I guess throughout my life, I feel as though I've been disappointed a lot. I feel as though nobody really cares about me. I feel as though people take advantage of me. And I don't have a shit. I guess they say forget my big ass, or screw me, or fuck me, or to hell with me, or I could care less with the shit. I don't know. People just do shit to do it. They just don't care. And then sometimes you think if you're doing the right thing, you think that the man above, Jesus, whoever you want to call him, would know. Sometimes I feel he don't know that I'm doing the right thing, or I'm doing the best that I can do. I guess I'm not doing the best I can. I guess no one really does. I guess they say they do, but they don't. They don't really care. But, like I said, as you're watching this documentary, you'll learn more about me. As you watch my other 2 previous documentaries, you should learn more about me. This is just who I am. And the novel I am writing is called The Histories of Jerry, which is my autobiography. And it will take you into different times of my life, what I felt. I think I discussed majority of everything in my previous documentaries. I'm not exactly sure, because as a child, I never had any friends. I never thought about having friends. I was always kind of the outcast, if you want to say that. And I think nobody really wanted to be bothered with me. That's how I felt as a child. Well, that's how I feel today. I feel like that as a teenager. Even though I went through a lot of hell. I mean, I've had sexual experiences too. I think I did as much as I could. I'm not going to say I did everything I want to, but I did as much as I could. And I feel like at the end, is it worth it? If everything I'm doing, is it worth it? Then I tell myself I don't know if it's worth anything. Because I feel like my life is not worth anything. Because the more I seem to try to want, or the more I seem to try to get, the less I feel like it's not worth it. I'm just tired. Guess in life you get tired. You get tired of all the bullshit. You get tired of all the people and all the shit they talk about, and guess one day you just forget about it. That's how I feel. As though I forget about different things. Anything. And everything. I guess some other questions you would probably be asking is, what is the meaning of life? What does it mean? My thing is why do a lot of people go through a lot of hell? And I guess a lot of people can say, well, if you read the Bible, it says, Well, why not you go through? Why shouldn't you go through it? Everybody else go through it. I don't know. I don't feel like that I should go through a lot of shit. I feel like, personally, from my personal experience, I shouldn't be going through all this hell. Some of the stuff I shouldn't be. I feel as though I should be rewarded for the things I'm doing. Because I believe that I'm doing everything to the best of my ability. But I guess there's no reward goes to somebody like me. I guess nobody really cares. I guess that's how come I feel down, depressed, angry, frustrated. Sometimes I'm ready to bust out in tears, but a lot of people don't know that about me. I mean, as a teenager, I went through a lot of hell. I had an ex-stepfather figure that beat my big ass. And I don't know. And I guess at 20, I had some old run-down vehicles. Didn't have what I really wanted, the way I wanted, how I wanted. And it was hard to get what I want. So, guess that's life, right? That's what life is about. Hell. Lots of hell. Lots of pain. You always have a lot of pain in this world. Nothing is free. People don't love you. They say they do. They're ready to backstab you. They're ready to destroy you at any moment. That's what I feel. And that's what life is about. Lots of pain. I just gotta know something. Does anybody want a piece of me? Do you? Do you want a piece of me? Oh my goodness, it's Jerry walking. Do you know? Do you want me? I think a lot of people in this world want a piece of me. See? Do you want a piece of me? See? I want to know if Extra Magazine says that Jerry's on top. I want to know how true it is. People want to know if I'm black or white. People want to know if I'm straight or gay or bi. People want to know if I'm smart or I'm crazy. I just want to know, do you want a piece of me? And if you do, let me know what's up. I got a question for a lot of you. Do you want a piece of me? If people say that I'm crazy or smart, but I laugh very hard, criticize me till I'm weary, give it up, let it go, so I'm loose, it's hard to tell, I'm not that easy to get along with, some people might say. I'm not very well, sinful life as I lead, telling me God has a plan for me. Sometimes might not believe that, or sometimes I want to, but I just can't. Okay, I want to know, do you want a piece of me? My ignorance is my friend, while truth carry me in. Tell me what to do. Everybody wants to know more of me. Give me a headache and corrupt me. Tales you tell of me. My business is out. Trap me down like a clown. I feel that a lot of people in the world want a piece of me. I just got a question. Do you want a piece of me? Think of me as your ATM. Money is my friend. Give in to temptation, I gotta spin. And there am I told, sell my soul, my body and mind, the things in my life, material it is, makes me so blind. So the question is, do you want a piece of me? I had an out-of-body experience. What happened was is one day I fell asleep, and it seems that my spirit left my body, and I had a chance to see my own body. They had a woman in the room, and she gave me her hand, and before I took it, I had to see my body. And what I was seeing was, I was seeing the hurt, anger, bitterness. I was seeing all the pain, misery. It's like I could see everything that the body that I was in was going through. So when I took her hand, they had a hole in the floor and we went down. I had a chance to see everything in this underworld, or as people call it, hell, as it says in the Bible, Hades, or hell. Well, they had the gates, or should I say, these dark golden gates, black kind of gates. And when we went in, I saw all these people in misery, crying. They were in pain. They were just suffering, if you want to call it that. And after I seen that, I seen two men. And these two men were from Sodom, the city, years ago. And the reason I know that is because I could read their mind. It's what you call telepathy. And you can kind of read people's mind. And it's like when they talk, you can understand them through their head, their mind, brain, whatever you want to call it. Well, the lady wanted to show me something in the cage. And I saw this half man with these huge steel horns. Chest was buffed up. He had hooves like goats. Like one of those goats that you see. Dark, hairy, or should I say furry hooves. I realized later on it was this beast, what people call the devil, Satan, or if you call him Lucifer, whoever you want to call him. I had a chance to see him. And I asked the lady, before I even knew that, I asked the lady the question, who is this man or half beast? This is what she told me. She told me this is the beast that has yet to come into this world to deceive the people. Okay, as soon as I had a chance to see that, I saw all these other people. The reason that I know these two men were from Sodom, because this beast, with the thought of his mind, wanted them to fight, and they started fighting. And all of a sudden, one of the men had almost knocked that man into this lower level, which was the fiery pit. I found out later which was the fiery pit. It was that burning fire, but it wasn't, it was kind of a dark reddish type of fire. And like I said, I'm elaborating on my out-of-body experience, but basically if you get my autobiography, the novel, you'll be able to kind of understand basically a little bit more. With the trilogy that I'm doing, I'm just elaborating on the novel itself. So as soon as the man almost threw him into this hole, kind of where the fire was coming out, the other man was holding on to, I guess, part of the ground itself, if you wanted to call it that. And he said, well, baby, help me. And then all of a sudden, it's like the guy just snapped back into himself, and he decided to help this other man. And then after that, they started holding one another. And hey, as you know, my name is Jeremiah Simeon. Today I want to discuss about my out-of-body experience. If you saw my first documentary, Dare to See the Truth, The Histories of Jerry, then I talked a little bit about my documentary. My out-of-body experience. Well, let me elaborate on it. And hopefully if you saw also my next documentary called The Man, the Story, and the Legend, then you'll be able to elaborate. I could elaborate a little bit more about it. Well, what's going on is, okay, and what happened as I gotten up there into what you call heaven, like I said, I saw kind of these stone doors, and I heard the voice that says enter, and these doors just opened, and I came in, and I saw this huge man, or as you call spiritual man. I found out later this was God, the Holy One, the Almighty One, whatever you want to call him. I saw him, and in a huge throne, and this throne was made out of every ruby you could think. Rubies, jasper, just every stone you could think of. It was made out of it. And then in the middle, they had another chair, and it had a symbol. If you ever seen the video that I've done called And If There's a Christ, well, if you saw that symbol, in 1993, the symbol was shown to me, which is my new spiritual name. Which, if you've seen the staff, is kind of have all these different jewels on it, and it's a symbol. It's made out of a symbol. And on the other side, I had an out-of-body experience. What happened was, is one day I fell asleep, and it seems that my spirit left my body. And I had a chance to see my own body. They had a woman in the room, and she gave me her hand, and before I took it, I had to see my body. And what I was seeing was, I was seeing the hurt, anger, bitterness. I was seeing all the pain, misery. It's like I could see everything that the body that I was in was going through. So when I took her hand, they had a hole in the floor, and we went down. I had a chance to see everything in this underworld, or as people call it, hell, as it says in the Bible, Hades, or hell. Well, they had the gates, or should I say, these dark golden gates, black kind of gates. And when we went in, I saw all these people in misery, crying. They were in pain. They were just suffering, if you want to call it that. And after I seen that, I seen two men. And these two men were from Sodom, the city, years ago. And the reason I know that is because I could read their mind. It's what you call telepathy. And you can kind of read people's mind. And it's like when they talk, you can understand them through their head, their mind, brain, whatever you want to call it. Well, the lady wanted to show me something in the cage. And I saw this half man with these huge steel horns. Chest was buffed up. He had hooves like goats. Like one of those goats that you see. Dark, hairy, or should I say furry hooves. I realized later on it was this beast, what people call the devil, Satan, or if you call him Lucifer, whoever you want to call him. I had a chance to see him. And I asked the lady, before I even knew that, I asked the lady the question, who is this man or half beast? This is what she told me. She told me this is the beast that has yet to come into this world to deceive the people. Okay, as soon as I had a chance to see that, I saw all these other people. The reason that I know these two men were from Sodom, because this beast, with the thought of his mind, wanted them to fight, and they started fighting. And all of a sudden, one of the men had almost knocked that man into this lower level, which was the fiery pit. I found out later which was the fiery pit. It was that burning fire, but it wasn't, it was kind of a dark reddish type of fire. And like I said, I'm elaborating on my out-of-body experience, but basically if you get my autobiography, the novel, you'll be able to kind of understand basically a little bit more. With the trilogy that I'm doing, I'm just elaborating on the novel itself. So as soon as the man almost like threw him into this hole, kind of where the fire was coming out, the other man was holding on to, I guess, part of the ground itself, if you wanted to call it that. And he said, well, baby, help me. And then all of a sudden, it's like the guy just snapped back into himself, and he decided to help this other man. And then after that, they started holding one another. And it was like the other guy was saying, baby, well, baby, do you know what you've done? And like I said, I'm not saying that people who are queer, fag, gay, or whatever you want to call them, homosexuals, that they're going to hell, but this was just a couple that I just basically seen. That's basically it. And as I moved on to another level, I saw, it's still in this underworld, men and women in these black robes, which I later found out they were the pre-Adamic race, which were the demons of today. Used to be human beings years ago. If you remember that ice age where the meteorite, or they wanted to say a volcano, but it had covered the sun with whatever covered the sun, and it turned the earth into a formless void full of ice. And this is what they call the ice age. Well, that was the race that was destroyed years ago. Okay? And as I moved up to another level, but within that level where these demons were, was brass black table with kind of a crystal ball sphere, whatever you want to call it, where they could see everything on earth. Moved up to another level, and I had a chance to see all these people. I guess you could call it paradise, because the trees were withered away. The water was like pitch black, like tar black. But before I had a chance to even go to all these levels, I had a chance to see two beasts, two creatures, which I later found out was Gog and Magog years later. But if you think about it historically, I think that's two places within somewhere on this earth. I'm sure it's in the Middle East, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But when I saw all these people that were there suffering and stuff, I kind of didn't understand at the point, but now I understand later. But I asked this lady, why are these people down there? Well, she told me that these were the people who had disobeyed against the Holy One. I guess they're the ones who didn't listen or didn't care or whatever. And they're the ones who were sent there, or should I say, probably for judgment. Okay, later on, we moved on up, and I saw everything in this miraculous place. It was just lit up. If you want to call heaven, or if you want to call the temple, or whatever you want to call it. Well, I saw it on each side there were pews, like pews in a church, where people were sitting on these pews. Then I saw straight ahead this stone pew-like, a pulpit, if you want to call it, like a preacher has, where they had this stone golden book, which later on I found out it was the book of life. But I couldn't see the names because the names were blurry. Then they had these gates, and this it would sound like a thunderous type of voice that says, enter. So I went on in. I saw a long line of people. I mean, people of many races, many colors. I mean, just you name it. And they had this young man who was a dark-skinned brother, African-American if you want to call it. He had a goatee and I wanted to touch it. And just all of a sudden I did have that chance to touch that goatee. And then everybody started kind of touching my face, my chest. I guess that's how we were greeting people. Okay, and what happened as I gotten up there into what you call heaven, like I said, I saw kind of these stone doors, and I heard the voice that says enter, and these doors just opened, and I came in, and I saw this huge man, or as you call spiritual man. I found out later this was God, the Holy One, the Almighty One, whatever you want to call him. I saw him, and in a huge throne, and I mean this throne was made out of every ruby you could think. I mean rubies, jasper, I mean just every stone you could think of. It was made out of it. And then in the middle they had another chair, and it had a symbol. If you ever seen the video that I've done called And If There's a Christ, well, if you saw that symbol in 1993, the symbol was shown to me, which is my new spiritual name, which if you've seen the staff, it's kind of have all these different jewels on it, and it's a symbol. It's made out of a symbol. And on the other side, well, that telephone kind of woke me up a little bit, kind of gave me that juice. Every time, I want to also tell you, every time I listen to music, I read books, watch movies, it inspires me to do different things. So sometimes that wake-up call in anyone's life, it inspires you to do things if you have a drive. Now I'm going to finish elaborating on the out-of-body experience. Okay, well, I saw also on the other side a medium-sized man. And this medium-sized man, as I found out, they call him the Lamb. When I found out his name was Jesus, or the Word, or whatever you want to call him. Well, I went up to see this huge man. And all of a sudden I started asking him some questions. The first question I asked him was, if he's as powerful as he is, why do we let bad things happen to people? You know, sometimes we think bad things happen to us just, I guess God is just punishing us, or He's just don't want us to see us get things that we want. But he says, this huge man says that he can't do it because it's almost against his law. So I'm assuming he was talking about free will, where he gave human beings free will. I'm sure he has the power to make people do whatever he want to do, the way he want to do it, how he want to do it. But I guess since he has free will, gave everybody free will, he let them choose or decide whether. I'm assuming to serve him or not to serve him. Well, my second question was this: if he's up there, how can he see us down here? And it was like when he moved the clouds, you could see the stars. And when he moved, it's like moving the stars, you could see the planet. It was like looking through a microscope. And you could see the people on earth as they were little ants. So I'm assuming that's how you see everybody. And I mean, you can see houses, but it was like everybody's house, even though it's made out of bricks or wood or stone, it could be whatever. It was like it was transparent. And you can see right through the houses of these people. Well, my third question is I wanted to know the reason behind why he would judge people. And he had a chance to show me. Well, one of the reasons is that when he judged you on everything you've done. Not just the bad things, but he judged on the good, the bad, everything you've done totally. And I realized that he judges you on all these things. And I had a chance to see him judge people. He judged this lady. And what happened was this lady would be sleeping around with all these men. But when she was in this judgment day, or this day where she was going to be judged, she just started crying. And you could see a mirror. They had a mirror, and it showed her life. I mean, just different parts of her life, and you could see it. And it's like this huge man just turned away. And all of a sudden, the clouds fell, and she went down. And I asked them why in the world, you know, he didn't say anything. But he told me this. He says that if this woman fool around with all these men, she didn't love them, how could she love me? That's what this huge man said. So I guess that if she didn't love anyone, then she could love the Creator. So I believe that's why she just failed, because she didn't have any love for anyone. And I think in this world you need love for everybody. You need to love everyone in this world, even though the people are half car crazy, especially myself. But the next one I saw, this guy was a gambler, and he had an excuse. Like you could see, it's like this mirror shows you your life, and it flashes by. And he was trying to explain, or I guess give this huge man an excuse, and he did. It's like he said he had to make a living, he had to do things. You know, he had to find a way to make money. And it was like this huge man didn't want to hear it. And this man just fell. It's like he pushed the clouds and this man just fell down. And I'm assuming these two people fell down to the underworld, as I call it. Or you can call it the lower part of heaven. Because if you think about it, hell is the lower part of heaven. We're on another part of heaven, as this earth is supposed to be a different part of heaven. And up there, all the way where Jesus lives, that's the other part of heaven. So it's kind of like there's three different areas of heaven. Well, later on he judged this man, elderly man, but it was like this man would say his prayers, and I mean, I believe later on that he was repentant, and that's why he had a chance to go into heaven. So as I saw these things, I remember this huge man telling me to never forget him, to let him know that he's there, and never forget what he's done, or never forget him personally. I also had a chance to see Michael, which is this angel who stands behind this huge man, and he had a chance to wrap his wings around me. I found out later on, I believe that's how Jesus holds you tight. And in the back of this lamb, or Jesus, was an angel named Gabriel. So I also saw the river of life. I didn't know, but it was this huge pool where they had these, it's kind of like pipes, but it would go directly to this pool. I found out it was the river of life, where these people were washing their white robes, and it was like they wanted me to come in. They kept saying, come on in, come on in, come in. And I was kind of skeptical. I'm afraid, as you can think of. You can think in your mind being afraid, because I didn't know any of these people. And sometimes when you don't know people, you kind of back away, you don't know what to do. Well, I even saw the fruit of life, where it was like a painting. These trees were like on this painting. I mean, I can't really explain. It was like a painting, and it was like fruit was on it, like apples. It looked like an apple, kind of. I didn't really know what kind of fruit it really was, if you think about it. And the lady, it was like the lady reached out her hand, and this fruit came into her hand. It's like it just glided. And she told me to eat it, and I was just skeptical. I didn't want to eat it. I was, like I said, I guess, afraid. So I saw the streets made out of gold. I mean, it's light gold. And I mean, there was a temple, a huge temple where the Lamb was preaching, or Jesus, if you want to call him. And it was like, kind of like a Cajun dome, or a Superdome, or it was like some kind of arena, if you would think of it. Well, these people would sit down to listen to the Lamb speak. Well, what was going on is that they had kind of like these men, but they were like in these white clothing, like white suits, if you want to call it. And they were gonna show me where to sit, but this lady, and I'm gonna describe her. She was like very skinny, anorexic type of bright skinned young lady. And she took my hand and she told me, I know where this man sits. He sits next to me. And she took me, and she took me to, I think it was like third row, I believe, first chair, something like that. And all I could think of is, man, this is just amazing. And when she held my hand, this lady held my hand as the Lamb preached, and I could see she just smiled. It was like she was kind of like a mother figure, and I was kind of like her son, if you could think of it that way, because that's the feeling that I had got from her. Well, after this Lamb preached and stuff like that, I was brought back to my body. That was the first experience, out-of-body experience I had. The second one, I left again, but Michael came get me this time. And I went up, and the second time I went, we were having a meeting about war. War was coming. And I had a chance to meet John. I met these 12 men also around this huge brass gold table, where these 12 men was around, where I assume later on these were the 12 apostles. And as I met John, the second time I had the second out-of-body experience, if you want to call it, I died a second time, if you want to say that. Well, I met John, the writer of Revelations, and he told me, he introduced himself as John, and I introduced myself as Jeremiah, and he said he already knew who I was. And I said, well, how did you know? He said, you know how this huge man you saw, you know how he see everybody? He said, this is how we see you on earth. And after that, I came back into my body. I used to start worshiping. If you saw my second documentary, you would see how I would worship. Well, I used to do that in my 20s. I don't do that like I did later on. It's been years since I've done it. And it kind of make me wonder about the things that I'm doing within my life. Well, before I even had those out-of-body experiences, I remember seeing Michael came to my bed one day, should I say one night, and I was kind of like in tears, ready to cry and stuff like that. And it was like he put his hand on mine, and he said, don't worry about this, brother. I'm going to take care of you. You will not go to sleep. Do not worry. He said, no man, no spirit will come until they come through. They'll have to come through me. And so I rested. The second time Michael came, I had kidney stones that I passed. Drinking a lot of Coke and not enough water. Well, one day he came and he healed me. And I had looked at him and I had asked him why he has come. He said, because I needed help. And it's like he put his hands on my lower chest where my kidneys are, and he looked up in heaven, and it's like later on, it was cured. I was feeling better. And I started seeing spirits as a teenager years ago, which frightened me. Kind of frightened me and stuff. And I started hearing voices in different rooms, which I found out later was these demons. I even had a chance to meet this beast uh, I had a chance to talk to him. But what it was is I was taking care of my grandmother and a cousin of mine who I call my great uncle. Well, my grandmother Anastasia Simeon, which you'll find out in my autobiography, and Horace Guillory, who is a cousin of mine, but we call him out kind of like my great uncle. But what happened is that I was very pissed off, very angry, stuff like that. And I was going to see Horace Guillory, and it was like I felt this evil spirit behind me, which was this beast or devil or whatever you want to call him. And he had these long claws. I mean, he looked like some out of a science fiction movie. And I mean, it looked ugly. And when I turned my back, like he had disappeared. But when I went to my Horace Guillory's house, my cousin of mine's house, well, what it was, I started talking to him and stuff like that. Then I left. He just wanted to know how I was doing, stuff like that. He lived alone. So he's, I guess you could say he was lonely. Or alone, if you want to call it. Well, when I went to sit on that swing, that's when this beast turned around. And, he had his back towards me, and I had his back towards him. And he started telling me about my life. He started telling me things in my life. And it was like he was dead on it. But I said, like, I told him, like, man, you're lying. You know, you're not telling the truth. But deep down inside of me, I knew it was. And it was like he just wanted me to be angry, very angry, I guess, to kind of get away from, I'm assuming, Jesus' plan for me. And I think that's what he wanted to do. But yes, I started seeing spirits and stuff like that as a teenager. I still do now. Plus also, I could see the spirit that's behind people. It's like when people turn around and I see them, I could see if it's a good spirit, bad spirit. I just can tell. I also can, it's like I understand different languages. Or should I say every language around the world. It's like I understand it somehow. People tell me it's a gift or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. But I think as years go by, as I started seeing these things, years later, I kind of stopped, but off and on, it's like, it's kind of like I stopped seeing stuff, but then as months go by, I kind of start seeing it again, these spirits and things like that. And I guess if you want to say it's a gift or whatever, but I feel as though it's just, man, I guess it's just not, it's terrifying, it's kind of amazing. I mean, it's everything wrapped up in one. Yes, now I wanted to talk about a dream I had about the end of the world. I had a dream in the early 90s. I was going to say late 90s, but it's early 90s. I was in my almost 20. I had a dream about being in a brick house, and there was a lady with wings, kind of similar to the lady in my out-of-body experience. Well, she showed me a war. I saw people on both sides, and I asked the lady about what was going on. She told me that there was a war going on. It's like it was the war between good and evil, light and darkness. When I seen it, I didn't really I didn't understand everything. Like I said, I didn't understand everything all at one moment. It took me some time to understand. So what I did is years later I started understanding it. Well, I had a dream that I dreamed from all the way to I think it was 95 until the year 3000. And I had a dream about that. And I saw a calendar in stone. It's like this stone calendar. At first the lady didn't show me the year I had to wait. Then I saw certain years. One year was 2050, which I thought it probably is significant, but I thought that's when Jesus was coming back. But then I saw another year, 2199, which was another year I saw. Then he comes back then, but you never know exactly when he's gonna come back, as we told in the Bible. Well, when I had this dream, I mean, you could just imagine the things I seen, the war. I seen a man. Now, I believe this is the world chancellor that comes to power. I found out later on, I figured out he lived in Germany, Berlin, Germany, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm sure it's somewhere in Germany. He looks bright skinned, slim, short hair. His ancestors, he's a mixed man. His ancestors are mixed. See, like me, I'm mixed. I'm mixed with Spanish, French, Indian. I'm also mixed with Dominican. I'm mixed with Jewish, Polish, European, or Caucasian, or white, whatever you want to call it, and African. Or African American, because my ancestors came all from these different countries, from France, Spain, Poland, the Dominican Republic, and from some part of the continent of Africa. I don't know if it's on, I believe it's on the west side. I don't know if it's east or west. It could be anyone. And they migrated here in Louisiana. Well, not only did I have that dream, it took me several dreams to find out these years. And I remember these years coming to me as, if it came to me as a fire red, then that means that year was a dangerous year. If it came to me in a cloudy white. And to conclude, with everything that I've seen in my life, I kind of understand a little bit more about it. And it's not easy when you look at it. It's hard. I think life is hard. Unfair. It takes a toll on anybody. And I also enjoy the artists that I work with. All my music family, all my church family, my media family. I even had a dream also, before I conclude, I even had a dream that I'm supposed to hook up or marry kind of either Hispanic or Latino woman mix. We're supposed to have 2 sons. I even know my 2 sons' name. My oldest would be Jeremiah Ezekiel, and my youngest son is Jeremy Michael, both Simeon. And my oldest son's supposed to be a gospel rapper, and my youngest son is supposed to be a minister. And I'm supposed to move to Toronto, Ontario. And we're supposed to live in this, I think, 2-story. It's a mansion. I say mansion, but it's a house, kind of. And I go on tour, and I also produce these shows. I'm supposed to be getting this $1 billion deal, according to the dream that I had. And I mean, I'm famous according to this dream. People in the world know me. It's just, it's an amazing journey. For me, it's always an amazing journey to do the things that I'm doing. Because I'm hoping that I can get years down the road, whatever I want to do, I want to do it. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I can do the things I want to do. As years later, starting up my own book publishing company, my magazine, my clothing line, getting all my videos put into DVD or digital video device, or trying to do any and everything. I think the more that we learn in life, the more we should be smarter. I mean, my gift is really the gift of knowledge that I have, because I mean, I've read the Bible book, all the books in the Bible. I've read history books. You can say American history, African history, Hispanic history. I mean, history for each, like Chinese, Japanese. I mean, every culture in this world you can think of, every culture. I mean, from culture in the UK to Europe to Canada, from the U.S. all the way down to Mexico, Central America, South America, Africa, Asia, Asia, Australia, even the different countries, Iceland, even in the Caribbeans, all the different history that I've read. And what I know today, I think makes me stronger, especially knowledge-wise. And with the knowledge I have, I can make the money that I've done, and hopefully in life, it'll be a little easier. But I know it never get easy. You know what? You never get what you want in life. You always get what you need at the time you need it. I also kind of wanted to add that for my ancestors, I think I kind of stated that before: French, Spanish, Indian, African, Dominican Republican, Polish, and Jewish, even King Simeon. I remember hearing stories about, this is my ancestor, King Simeon, used to live in Poland. I was from Poland. And he had 2 sons, as far as I knew, I think so. And they had documentation. If anybody can prove that they are related to the King Simeon, who used to live in Poland, they could get his wealth, like the church. They even have a church called Simeon, a castle. I'm sure whatever possessions he had, if you could say that, you know what, that you are related to the king in a certain way. It's hard to get the documentation. I know I can't go to Poland and tell them to do the research and get the documentation, because I guess they wouldn't do it for me. But I have a feeling that one day I'll be able to find out more about my ancestor, King Simeon. I think I want to thank Jesus for giving me the opportunity to do my documentaries, all 3 of them, the trilogy. With this last one, the Diaries of Jerry, the documentary, I like to go into detail, and I am going into detail. I think I've gone into so much detail. I think now that you know a little bit about me, my ancestors, the dream, the out-of-body experience, my life as it is. I might have forgotten my Indian also background heritage to my ancestors as well. So basically, as a young child, I never had friends. I was kind of always the outcast, black sheep, if you want to call. I was just the type of person, I didn't make friends. I was a loner. I guess you could say a loner still. There are times in my life where I'm lonely. I am looking for that special someone. It's kind of hard looking for that special someone when you're trying to find that special someone. It's not easy. And I don't think it's easy being myself. But then I learned in life the things that people go through. Sometimes you think you've gone through a lot of hell, but there are a lot of people that go through more hell than you. And all I can say is that my life is not that bad. It's pretty good. It's a simple life, but it's good. And I like it. I think one day, as I get older, should I say, whenever I retire from my jobs, I say jobs, career, then I'll probably look back. I'm even going to look back at the trilogy that I've recorded and all my other videos, even the live performance, everything that I've done. And I think I'll say, well, I did a pretty good job so far. And I enjoy doing what I'm doing the way I want to do it. Well, another thing I want to accomplish before I end this documentary, I would love to go back to school, finish up in business management, get my bachelor's degree. And I'm sure I'm going to do that. That's a possibility. I just need to get some money together first to get the things I need, and hopefully go back to school, college, finish up. I didn't finish up because I didn't really want to go to college. That was something I was not interested in, going into college. I was interested in getting entertainment, which I'm in now. If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have finished college up making sure that I did. I've accomplished everything. I mean, I've seen the world on the internet. You can see I've been around the world on the internet. I have different websites. Like I said, I have books published, CDs, magazine. I have my own book publishing company. I've had clothing line. I have my own vehicle. I'm doing my own thing, have my own house, everything. I have it all. I'm living the American dream. What people dream about, I'm living that dream. People look at me and they say I got it going on, and I think no I don't. But as I look through the things that I've had, through the things that I've done, I've learned, yes, I have it going on. You know, I feel I'm all that in a bag of chips, even though people in the world don't. I don't care what people think. Because they don't put food in my stomach, clothes on my back, and a roof over my head, then I don't really care what they've done. I've done everything I wanted to do as far as I know. And whatever other accomplishments I want to do, well, I'm going to have to just figure a way out and do it. That's life. And life is not fair. And like I said before, you get what you need, not what you want. And not the way you want it, but you can get what you want the way you want it, how you want it, anytime you want it, if you push. Pushing is the key. Make something happen with your life. Go out there, do something with it. Never, or should I say, try not to go down a bad path or a bad road. Because years later, you're going to realize that you'll never accomplish anything by doing the wrong thing. Try to do, I believe that everybody in the world should do the right thing. Do something with your life. Accomplish your dreams. Make it come true. Do whatever you want to do. The way you want to do it, how you want to do it, no matter what you do. Always push to get what you want. That's the key. Well, King's Garden New Generation Enterprise has helped me out with also some of the other companies I deal with. King's Garden Publishing, Rainbow Children Publishing, and my own publishing company, Jeremiah Simeon Publishing. I also have help from King's Garden Records, New Generation Records, Jerry International Records, Jerry Records, Jeremiah Simeon Records, which is my record label. I also have New Power Network, Queen Records, and I'm thinking of another record. I'm sure I have different record companies. Jerry Entertainment Agency, New Generation Publishing, J-Man Publishing, J-Man Films has helped. And I think all of them have done a great job. Also, New Power Network Records has helped me. With all these companies helping me with the things I'm doing in entertainment business, it's not bad. I think it's pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty good. I think I've, like I said, accomplished everything, did everything I want to do as much as I want to do. There were times that I've cried, or should I say shed tears. I was angry, bitterness, unhappy, lonely, trying to figure out who I am, what I want to do, how I want to do it, the things I want to do, how I want to make it. It's not easy. It's all about life. And life is not always, or should I say never goes the way you want it to go. I think that a lot of young people today, well, I say young people in general, always tend to kind of close themselves off when they meet new people. I think if everybody in the world open up, have an open mind, and I think if we all learn to trust one another, trust is something that you have to learn. If we become friends, or try to be friends with someone, try at least one day to help somebody, no matter what it is. Try to help them. I think helping is the key. Try to care about somebody. Always have an open mind, open heart. Always try to understand what people say. Learn to like someone, learn to help, learn to take care of yourself, and then eventually help take care of somebody else. Learn to do those things. You never know what can happen in your lifetime. And I think we always need to acknowledge, not just us, but I think we need Jesus himself, who has done a lot, I think, for everyone. People say he died on the cross just for us. I think he helped everybody. And I think we need to do the same thing for each and every one of us. Because this is the time where I think we all need to pitch in and to help one another. So, from what I say to hopefully for what people do when they watch these documentaries, I hope you understand a little bit about me, everything I've gone through, what I've done, and as time moves on, I know you'll understand the choices that I made. I'm hoping one day if I have children, they understand the choices that I made.